Meredith just made me run really far. I don't run really far. I gotta take a shower, and then I gotta go to the vet clinic, and then I'll show you the beast, which I already know, you already know what it is, because I put it in the title and thumbnail, but it's awesome! I look amazing.
Glasses to the stars, my grandma smiling down on me like, whoop, that boy got bars. Okay, okay, yes I do. I say amen and hallelujah, let me testify too.
So this little dog, if she'll get calm, you'll see that she obviously has a leg issue, and I think she has some old nerve injury. It's not painful or anything, but you can see it's moving, it's twitching up and down, and when she lays down, her whole body twitches. And so I was trying to figure out what's going on with that. I was like, that cannot be related to that leg. I think the leg is a totally separate issue, but you can see her whole body twitching. And so I came in and looked at her teeth. Oh, don't fall down. Come here, girlfriend. And is that focused on her teeth there? So you can see on this big canine tooth here, the enamel is all messed up. And it's like that over here, and it's on all of her teeth, it's messed up, but it's the easiest to see on those. It's probably hard to see for you because she's moving. That's distemper virus. So she used to have distemper virus when she was a younger puppy, and as her teeth grew in, her enamel didn't form right. She eventually got over distemper, but she has this permanent enamel issue on her teeth, and she has this permanent twitch, this neurological thing, which she's gonna have for life. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought you guys would like to know that. She's not paying attention to us. Oh, now she is. Yeah, it's that twitching like that. That was cool, right? That dog. Let's talk about that case a little. What? You don't want to talk? You want to see the truck? Okay, let's go home and look at the truck. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the best, the coolest vehicle you have ever and will ever see on YouTube. The AM General Military Humvee. I got one. It's a, hold on, let me show you. This is a 1989 HMMWV, which stands for Highly Mobile Multi-Purpose Wheeled Vehicle, which that acronym, if you say it fast, kind of sounds like Humvee, so I think that's a lot easier to say than the HMMWV, so I think that's where the name came from. It's made by AM General. This is a 1989 model. This was a military truck up until earlier this year, where it was sold at a surplus auction to civilians. And it has been titled and licensed, and it is drivable on the road. These Humvees were made to replace the old military Jeeps for personnel carrying and for cargo transport. They're made to be good on and off-road and carry a heavy payload. They're made to have better survivability in battle than the Jeeps. And they're made to just look way cooler, which, mission accomplished, guys. So I'm gonna give you the top 10 reasons that I bought a Humvee. But first, a little more information about this, because there's a lot of confusion about, well, yeah, it's a Hummer H1. It's not a, if you call a Humvee a Hummer H1, whoever owns it is gonna be upset. You're gonna offend them because this is not an H1 Hummer. The H1 Hummers, everyone's seen those driving around. They're giant, they're yellow or whatever, and they're very similar to this, very similar. But they're kind of the foo-foo fluffy version of a Humvee. This thing is raw. There's no air conditioning in this. The seats are just a pad you sit on. They're not nice. This is not a nice luxury truck. It is anything but that. The number one reason that I bought a military issue Humvee is because it looks really cool. And that sounds stupid, but it's true. I mean, like, I've just wanted one of these my entire life, and they're just so cool looking. They're unique, they're different, they're tough looking. The second reason I bought this truck was because it has a very tough, menacing stance. Look at these tires. Look how knobby they are, and just look how big they are. These tires are 37 inches tall. My truck, I drive a Ford F-150 Raptor. It has big tires on it, but they're only 35 inches tall. Look how giant those things are. It just gives it this aggressive, mean look. I mean, look at that thing. But what's interesting about having these giant tires is the truck is actually not that tall. I am 6 feet tall. So is this truck. This truck is 6 feet tall. Let me show you the Raptor. Big tires on the Raptor. They're 35s. They're not 37s. They're smaller tires than the Humvee. But what I want you to notice is I'm 6 feet tall. The Raptor is like 6'8". It's a huge truck, really tall, and the tires are smaller. Interesting. I wonder why that is. I know why. I'm just not going to tell you right now. I'll tell you in a minute. The third reason that I bought this truck, let me show you inside, is because it's raw. It's not an H1. It's not a luxury truck. If I wanted a nice luxury truck, you know, maybe I'd go H1, but I wanted something tough. I wanted something cool. I mean, look at this thing. Does this look comfy to drive? Look at these seats. It's just a pillow on a metal backing. Look at that. Does that look comfy? Where's the lumbar support, bro? I don't know, because it's not a luxury vehicle. This thing is made for men, real men, not foo-foo fluffy men. Sorry, all you H1 owners. I think you guys are cool too. I mean, I guess you could say the Raptor's a foo-foo fluffy man truck, but not this thing. The fourth reason why I got a Humvee is because the ground clearance. Hello, Dozer. I'm trying to make a video. I know, I love you too. This is pretty much just turning into a Raptor beatdown video, but we gotta look at ground clearance here. Probably the lowest spot is either the differential or the shock mount over there. So, and this tire is also pretty low, but that differential is probably the lowest thing on the truck. Let's check out the Humvee. What do we got here? What? There's no differential in there. There is a differential. It's just tucked way up in there. So this is an independent suspension back here. So it's not a flat, straight axle going across, which is nice because you can see those axles are bending down. They're going down to the wheel. So you can get a little more ground clearance that way. Everything's tucked up really high, as you can see under this Humvee. I mean, look at all that room. You could fit the kit car into there. But what else is very interesting about the Humvee is one more thing that I had never seen. Didn't know they did this, but it's really cool. So you'll notice that axle coming in does not come to the center of the wheel. The center of the wheel is about right there. This axle comes in about 5 inches higher than the center. What? Inside this wheel it has what's called a helical gear reduction hub. So the power comes in right here and goes up high. The center of the wheel is down here, and so in here it has a gear. And due to that, everything is a little bit higher, allowing more ground clearance. So you can, you know, park a kit car under here if you want. The fifth reason I bought a Humvee was because Humvees are all-wheel drive. They're four-wheel drive all the time. You can see we have a little gear selector over here. Notice there's no park, which is super annoying. And then we have the selector for the four-wheel drive. We've got HL, H, neutral, and low. So there's no two-wheel drive. So this thing is ready to go off-road in the worst conditions at any moment. The sixth reason why I wanted a Humvee. Let me pop the hood for you. Show you a little bit more in here. What makes this thing what it is. If I can pop it with one hand. The sixth reason is the air intake is right here. Pretty interesting. It sits right up above the hood, whereas normal air intakes in a vehicle are like down here. So this one's a good 4.5 feet off the ground. What that means is you can submerge these things. They've waterproofed all of the electronics, and they actually make water fording kits for Humvees that have a breather that's up here and an exhaust pipe that also goes above the truck. And I've seen videos, I'll just put it in right here, of trucks going completely underwater. So obviously mine couldn't do that, but it could ford water about that high, which would be chest high when you're driving, which would probably be pretty scary, but the truck is made to do that. While I have the engine open, I'll tell you some more. This is a V8 diesel-powered engine. Air comes in here, goes through the filter in here, I presume, down into the engine. You can see we have radiators in a weird spot, and you probably noticed the big vent up here on the hood. And that's because the radiators are put up above the engine. They do that so that if you're off-roading and getting all kinds of dirt and debris up on your truck, there's less of it that's going to collect up here than there would be if the radiator was down there in a normal vehicle position. The hood is some kind of polymer. It feels like fiberglass. The body is aluminum, so it's rust resistant and fairly lightweight for as big of a truck as this is. Just showed you intake and engine, might as well show you exhaust. The exhaust dumps right there in front of the back wheel. And while we're talking about wheels, that brings us to the seventh reason that Humvees are the best vehicle ever made on the planet. Not really, but this is just a really unique thing that I think is kind of crazy. This truck has four-wheel disc brakes, but those giant hubs obviously are in the way, right? So where are our disc brakes? If you look, it's right there and right there. So our disc brakes are up right next to the differentials. They're easier to see in the front. This is the front right caliper. That is the rotor. You can see a brake pad right there. Same thing over here. There's the other one. So there are axles going right up into there. That's our differential. And there is a brake and there is a brake. Is that not the weirdest thing you've ever seen? I didn't know that existed. I'd never seen anything like that. Back at the Raptor to explain the number 8 reason why I bought a Humvee. And this will explain why the Raptor is so much taller than the Humvee. Let's go down low. A normal vehicle has a frame, right? And we got a frame on our Raptor right here. The frame is the skeleton of the car. And then some things will hang down below the frame, like that transmission up there is sticking down a little bit. The differential back here is sticking down a little bit. And then you can see sitting on top of the frame is the floor pans. So that's the floor of the truck. And so here's the top side of the floor going all the way across, and the seats are sitting on top of that. Right? Right, that makes sense. Let's see how the Humvee is different. Here's the frame on the Humvee, and what I want you to notice is the frame is the lowest part. They sucked everything up into the frame, all in the middle of it. And you can see the exhaust pipes there, you can see the transmission, you can see the gas tank, you can see a muffler, you can see our drivetrain all coming back to our differential. Everything is above the frame. So what does this do to the interior of the truck? So what you gain in ground clearance, you lose in interior room. You can see this giant tunnel is huge because they pulled everything up into the middle of this truck. What they've also done is lowered the floor pans down to the level of the frame. So on my truck, the floor pans were sitting on top of the frame. Here you can see the floor pans go around the frame there. So these actually sit lower. So that is why you can have a lower roof height, because everything is dropped down around the drivetrain. Sorry, just marveling at how everything is tucked up, nice and tidy, up high. I mean, look at this, look at that frame. Frame's going right there, floor pan going there, all the drivetrain going there. Everything is flat across this. It's genius. Number 9. The reason I bought it is because it just screams America. Look at this thing. Okay, so this reason, maybe I just kind of couldn't think of any other really good reason, so I just wanted to have an excuse to walk around the truck and talk about how cool it looks. Mission accomplished. The 10th and most important reason why I bought this truck is because I was worried that someday I would have a need to throw my truck out of a C-130, and the Raptor is just not conducive for that. But this is. Let me show you some interesting things. So they actually can get helicopters to carry these trucks or airplanes, and they can actually throw them out of airplanes and parachute them to the ground. So when they do the parachuting, what they do is they put a big pallet under these trucks, and then they strap it down to the pallet using all of these big hooks. We also have some more up front, of course. And they hook it all down to the pallet with a bunch of straps. The parachute hooks to the pallet, and they launch it out of the back of an airplane. When a helicopter carries a Humvee, they also use these same hooks in the back, and they run them up over here. And in the front, it's kind of interesting, they hook straight to this. These things go down and hook directly to the frame. So they put big hooks on there, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. They lift it up with a giant helicopter and carry them for miles if they need to. That was my one problem with the Raptor. I was like, what if I need to carry this thing with a helicopter? What's a guy to do? So that's why I got the Humvee. That's it for my list, but some other notable features. These doors are easily removable, just like a Jeep. So if the guys are wanting to make them more conducive to jumping in and out very quickly, or if they just want to make them lighter, they can easily take the doors off. And then you also can replace these with like heavily armored doors. Like these are metal doors, but you could put like some like legit like 50 cal proof doors on these if you wanted. They also make just like the canvas doors. The window hinges down. I'm not sure when you would need that, except for maybe when you're throwing it out of an airplane, or maybe if you want to shoot and like, so you just lay it down. This will hinge out of the way. We do have a truck bed back here for carrying supplies or like, you know, machine guns or whatever. Oh, let me just tell you about the license plate thing. So it's not super easy to get plates on a military Humvee. This one was already titled, so someone already went through all the headache. And so I got it already titled, which made it fairly easy for me. But I went to the tax office and handed the lady my documents to get the title switched into my name. And she was like, "What kind of car is this?" And I was worried that if I told her it's a Humvee, she would be like, "Nope, we don't register Humvees." So I was like, I don't know. It's like a truck. And she was like, "Who is AM General?" And I was like, "That's just the company that makes it. It's like a military style truck." And she was like, "Well, this says on here that it has the code for SUV. So is it SUV or a truck?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what you would classify it as." And she was like, "Well, we need to know." And I was like, just go with whatever it says. I was like, I think that's fine. That's what it was registered as before. And so she asked her friend, she said, "Do you know what an M998 is?" Which is what this Humvee model is called. And the lady goes, "Yeah, I think that's a Jeep." And I was like, "Yeah, it's totally a Jeep. It's just a Jeep. It's an old military Jeep. Let's go with that." She was like, "Oh, it's a Jeep. Perfect." Stamp. Gave me the title. Good to go. Okay, you've talked, Matt, but how about we drive this thing? I think that's a great idea. Mine has been fitted with the keys, so we turn it on, wait for the wait light to turn off. That means glow plugs are warm, and starts right up. You put your foot on the brake, pop it in reverse here, put the parking brake down, and then we roll. Not great visibility out of this thing. You've probably heard that Humvees are slow. That's not true at all. They're super fast. No, they're actually really slow. Painfully slow. It's geared to be powerful, but just not fast. It does pretty good on these roads. It's not comfortable, but it's not too hard, not too inconvenient to where you wouldn't want to do it. It's fairly easy. We have a big turn signal, which I'm pretty sure is aftermarket because I don't think they needed those in the military. While the acceleration is not good at all, the braking is actually amazing. Four-wheel disc in very strange places, but they get the job done. This thing can stop like nobody's business. So yeah, on the road it works fine, but this thing's made for off-road, right? Let's try its off-road capabilities. I have seen a Chevy half-ton four-wheel drive pickup get stuck on this hill, and bear in mind, the camera flattens everything. So I've seen one get high-centered right there. This thing should get over it. God, look how good it looks. It should get over it no problem. Then there's this hill right here, which is probably about 10 feet down there to the top. So it probably doesn't look like that to you guys, but pretty flat on this side, about 10 feet down. I went ahead and ditched the front doors so that I could see a little bit better. What do y'all think? Front doors good, or you like them off? All right, here we go. This is easy, easy. So much room here, so much room here. That one's gonna be a little more dicey. I think we can do it though. Not a great turning radius on the old Humvee. Let's just go slow. Let's just see if it does it real nice and slow. It's like the easiest thing in the world. Just, let's go back down it. Let's go backwards. It's just like it's a flat road. I don't even think the tires slipped at all on that. So that's a pretty steep incline, but what makes it so easy, you can see in the front, the first thing that hits is the tires. A normal vehicle sticks out way over here, has a big fender and a bumper. This thing is all tires on the front. So it hits tires and just starts pushing the front of the vehicle up. Doesn't catch anything like bumpers or fenders. I found another hill. I'm gonna go ahead and put my seatbelt on for this one, because it's a little steeper. Check it out, it rises up about 20 feet there. Let's give it a go. We're just gonna go nice and slow, see how it works. don't know how I'm gonna get down though, because I don't really think I can turn around up here. Normally wouldn't take a normal truck through here because it's gonna get all scratched up, but this is a Humvee, so it's fine. Just adds a little character to the side of it. Ah, that was a piece of cake. It's actually real easy. Let's get it in the water, huh? It's like, it's probably 1.5 feet deep here or something. I don't want to like submerge it. God, every time I look at it, it's just, I just feel good about having this truck. But I think I need to break it in right, take it down here and get it a little wet. Okay, the next test, we'll come drive it down through here, up over through that's like 7-foot tall grass. I have no idea what's in that grass, but it's a Humvee, so it shouldn't matter, right? Probably. Oh my gosh. Oh, look how cool it looks. God, it's a good looking truck. Big drop. Tree in front of me, I gotta run over it. And run over it. I think I'm kind of in love. I think I'm totally in love. Look how good it looks. Does anyone want to go on a Humvee ride?
Yeah!
Let's do it! Come on, Link. You can do it. Yo, look at him go. Good job.
Oh, gross in here.
Did you say it smells gross in here?
Yeah.
It smells like a 1989 Humvee to me. Do y'all want to go down in the ditch?
Yeah.
You want to go off-roading?
Yeah.
Let's go in the hole up here. Yeah, you want to stop here?
Yeah.
And get out? All right, let's get out and look around. Oh no, we parked the Humvee in a hole. What are we gonna do?
We can drive out.
Oh yeah, we can, because it's a Humvee.
Yeah, and it's so brave.
It's so brave? Yeah, this Humvee's so brave, so we can just drive out. Good idea, Lincoln. So brave. It does not talk, that's true. Lincoln is just the smartest boy ever. Which car do you like more? My car or Mom's car?
Yeah.
What about you, Annie?
Mom's.
What? Goblin, Humvee, or Raptor?
All them.
All them.
Even Mommy's car.
Even Mommy's car. We like all them.
Even I like the blue truck.
I don't have a blue truck anymore. I don't remember what happened to it. I lost it. I don't know where it went.
No, it broke on the top.
It broke on the top?
Yeah.
My vehicle was shot by a tank and run over by one, and I was just wondering if that would be covered.
By a tank, did you say?
So this is where we leave you. Tell me what you think of, you can walk on the hood, it's no problem. Tell me what you think of the Humvee. Careful, girlfriend, you're scaring me up there. I am kind of biased and kind of love it because I've just loved these all my life, and turns out they're just as cool as I had always imagined they were. Also, tell me if you have any ideas of things that you think I should do with it, because I I mean, I want to do some fun stuff with this. I don't just want to have a thing to sit in my garage. I want to take this thing and do some cool stuff. So thanks for cleaning it. I don't know why the windshield wipers don't work anymore. Thanks, Link. Thanks for watching Off the Ranch. I love you, and I'll see you next time.
We're not talking about killing people.
Just say I want to murder you. Oh. I can't work like this.